Hello viewer, this is a tutorial designed to help you know the orthography and alphabet of Tula language. It will help you learn how to read and write in Tula language. So sit back, watch and listen as I take you through. Diphthongs. Diphthong is a sound formed by the combination of two vowels in a single syllable. It can be the same or different vowels. If the vowels are the same in a word, when you pronounce the word, you feel like there is a H sound in the word. It's not H sound. It's just that the vowel is long. That is why that same vowel is repeated twice in the word, to show that you will sustain your voice as you pronounce the word. Diphthongs of the same vowels. Here we have our vowel A appearing twice in a word. So like we said, whenever these diphthongs of the same vowel appears twice in a word, when you pronounce the word, you sustain the pronunciation, just like you're trying to drag in calling out the word. Now let's take these examples. The first one we have car. It is pronounced car, which means hawk in English, hankaka in Hausa. Another example is pronounced kan. It is pronounced kan, which means dry season in English, rani in Hausa. And the next example is kwala. It is pronounced kwala, which means rope in English, igia in Hausa. And another example is pronounced kware. It is pronounced kware, which means cock in English, zakara in Hausa. Then the last example there is dal. It is pronounced dal, which means fold in English, nade in Hausa. Here we have another diphthong of the same vowel, which is one of our vowel A, appearing twice in a word. So like we just said, when pronouncing the word, you will kind of drag or sustain your voice as you're making the pronunciation. So the first example there we have is Nelo. It is pronounced Nelo, which means first wife in English, wargida in Hausa. And the next one is Ner. It is pronounced Ner, which means grinding stone in English, dutse nika in Hausa. Then the next example is Ker. It is pronounced Ker, which means voice in English, muria in Hausa. Another example is pronounced Ser. It is pronounced Ser, which means over matured in English, rika in Hausa. And the last example there is Diker. It is pronounced Diker, which means response in English, amsa in Hausa. Here we also have another diphthong of the same vowel, which is one of our vowel E. So we have E appearing twice in the word. The example we have there is queer. It is pronounced queer, which means neck in English, wea in Hausa. Another example is buir. It is pronounced buir, which means well in English, regia in Hausa. And the next example there is desir. It is pronounced desir, which means greetings in English, gaiswa in Hausa. Then we have another example, win. It is pronounced win, which means one in English, there in Hausa. Then the last example there we have meme. It is pronounced meme, which means flower in English, gari in Hausa. We also have another diphthong of the same vowel, which is our vowel U, appearing twice in a word. Now the first example we have there is the fool. It is pronounced the fool, which means lungs in English, huhu in Hausa. Another example there is the tour. It is pronounced the tour, which means abuse in English, zagi in Hausa. The next example there is pronounced dukun. It is pronounced dukun, which means hamatan in English, hazo in Hausa. And the last example there we have is cool. It is pronounced cool, which means 100 in English, dari in Hausa. Here is another diphthong of the same vowel, which is our vowel O, appearing twice in a word. Now the example we have there is to. It is pronounced to, which means knife in English, wuka in Hausa. Diphthongs of different vowels. Sometimes two different vowels can appear in the same place in a word. This is also found in Tula language, but it's not every vowel that can come together with another vowel in a word. For example, we have our vowel A coming together with another vowel U in the same place in a word. Now we have an example there which is pronounced yaw, which is pronounced yaw, as in pluck or harvest in English, that is sinka in Hausa. Then we have another example, bow, bow, which means fine in English, nema in Hausa. Here is another diphthong of different vowels. We have one of our new vowel, which is pronounced coming together with our vowel u in a word. Now we have an example there. The example there is row. It is pronounced row, which means drive away in English, kora in Hausa. Another example there we have is quo. It is pronounced quo, as in the word fetch out in English, which is also yasa in Hausa. This is another diphthong of different vowels, which is our vowel E coming together with our vowel U in the same place in a word. So the example we have there is the word you. It is pronounced you, which means collect in English, karba in Hausa. We also have one of our new vowel coming together with U in the same place in a word. And this new vowel is Now we have the example there, which is chew, chew, which means kill in English, kashe in Hausa. And another example there is boo, which is pronounced boo, which means ask in English, tambaya in Hausa. We have another diphthong of different vowel, which is one of our vowel A and another vowel E appearing in the same place in the word. So the first example we have there is kai. It is pronounced kai, which means spoil in English, lalatar or bata in Hausa. We have another example there, mai. It is pronounced mai, which means king in English or emir, then serki in Hausa. Here is another example of diphthongs of different vowels. We have one of our vowel O coming together with the vowel E in the same place in a word. So the example we have there is koi. It is pronounced koi, which means charcoal in English, gawayi in Hausa. And the last example there we have is doi. It is pronounced doi, which means hunting in English, farauta in Hausa.